Hi, this is Kate from Minute Earth. In 1903, an unprecedented flood struck Kansas, wreaking havoc on homes, farmland, infrastructure, and an entire trainload of butter. The creamery sued the rail company for its lost cargo, but the railroad argued that they shouldn't be responsible, since the flood had been completely out of their control. The court agreed, ruling that the flood had been an act of God. Courts around the world have actually been using the term since the 1500s to describe unprecedented events that seem to come out of nowhere. Today, you'll see acts of God mentioned in contracts, insurance policies, and a few U.S. environmental laws. And like in the butter case, you might hear a lawyer milking the term as a defense in court. To use the act of God defense, you don't have to prove that a god actually caused the event. You just have to prove two things. One, that taking reasonable precautions couldn't have prevented the damage. And two, that the damage was caused by a natural force with no human influence. But it's getting harder and harder to meet these criteria, starting with the reasonable precautions. Thanks to improving technology and scientific knowledge, we're increasingly able to predict the size, scope, and path of destructive events, which raises the bar for what kind of reasonable precautions might be required to stave off damage. For instance, back in 1903, the railway had put the butter car on what seemed like high enough ground to keep it safe, but they had little way of knowing how severe the flood would be. Today, with a lot more flood knowledge, they'd have to better prepare the butter for the act of God defense to stick. And the second criteria is also harder to meet because we're finding that an increasing number of natural disasters do have human fingerprints on them. For instance, human activities have led to the warming and rising of the ocean, which almost certainly intensified Hurricane Sandy in 2012 and likely exacerbated Europe's 2015 heat wave. In fact, scientists estimate that some of Sandy's catastrophic effects, like the flooding of vital transit tunnels, which added more than $10 billion of damage, might not have happened without the effects of human activity. Since natural events like floods, droughts, and wildfires are happening more often and doing more damage than they used to, we may actually be seeing more act of God cases pop up in court in the future. But because we're becoming better at predicting those events and recognizing our own contributions to them, the success of the act of God defense may soon be relegated fully to the margins. Hey there! 2017 has been the best year for Minute Earth so far. We made more videos than ever for more viewers than ever. And on July 20th, you guys combined to watch the most Minute Earth content ever seen in one day. You watched about 4.5 years worth of our videos. Whether you're a brand new viewer or someone who's been tuning in since the very beginning, we just want to say thank you for joining us. And to our Patreon patrons and YouTube sponsors, thanks for making us possible. We'd love to hear from all our viewers. What were some of your favorite Minute Earth moments of the year? What would you like to see more of or less of next year? Let us know in the comments or on Twitter or Facebook. And thanks for watching.